Hey there, this is Cassidy Patterson, and this is my final self-assessment for the Industrial Organizational Psychology graduate program here at Eastern Kentucky University. So what I want to do is I want to go over the program objectives and just discuss the progress that I've made throughout the past 2 years, and I'm really excited to go over what I've gained throughout the courses that I've taken, and then also some areas of opportunity that I still have some room for growth and development. So let's get started with the first objective. So the first objective is students will develop a basic understanding of general psychology, including acquired or learned basis of behavior, social, cultural, systematic basis of behavior, and individual or unique basis of behavior. So I was lucky. My undergraduate degree was actually from EKU, and it was a undergraduate degree in psychology. So I already had a basic understanding from my undergraduate courses of many of these aspects of the program. I think overall, I've learned the most about understanding organizational culture, learning, and unlearning. I've felt that to be the most interesting, and typically when you're interested in something, that as we've learned throughout this program, you are more likely to be receptive of that information. However, overall, I do believe that since it's been a while since I've had some of the basic psychology classes, and we also touched on this toward the beginning of the program, that some of that information has been lost due to the timing of the courses. I definitely feel like I remember more of what we learned toward the end of the program than I did at the beginning of the program. The second objective was students will develop knowledge and skills of research designs, methodologies, and statistical techniques and apply these skills in a variety of settings. So for most people, I would suspect this is the most difficult objective. Statistics and research methodology is not necessarily something that people, that comes to them easily, or it's an innate skill set that they have. So I know that I've made some progress with this. However, out of all the objectives, this is still what I'm the most uncomfortable with. I now understand more of the statistical practices, whether to use a correlation analysis or multiple regression. What we learned in Dr. Nakai's class really helped clarify when to utilize certain designs and methods. We also learned how to utilize Jamovi for data analysis, and I feel pretty comfortable using that. However, I still have trouble deciding which method to use in what situation on my own. I did a really good job whenever we were in the statistics classes, when we were on specific units, being able to go through the process. However, when it came time to my practicum and having to do that on my own, I found myself struggling a bit. So that's still definitely an area of opportunity that I have to grow in. The third objective is students will develop knowledge and skills of theory, research, and applications of industrial psychology topics such as employee selection, criterion theory and development, job analysis, performance appraisal, and human resource training and development, and apply these skills in various settings. So again, I definitely made progress. I think if you've gone through this entire program and haven't made any progress on any of these objectives, then there might be some issues there. But definitely with these particular topics, and specifically these topics, I think are very helpful in my current career as a staffing manager. We utilize performance appraisals, human resource training, and definitely development specifically with our employees that we work with. So I've been able to take what I've learned and apply it to real life settings, which is fantastic and the whole point of this program. It's also taught me that I'm most interested in training and development, which I plan to, or I hope to get more into that as a career aspiration. But I do want to point out that it is somewhat hard to remember everything. And I've already mentioned this, things that were taught at the beginning of the program, like, for example, the job analysis class. I don't feel nearly as comfortable being able to utilize those skills and knowledge as I do with the classes that we have more recently taken. So that's something that I'll have to look back at and take the work that I did during that class. If I ever have to do that in the future, I'll definitely have to refer back to that and brush up on some of that knowledge and skills. So objective number 4 is students will develop knowledge and skills of theory, history, research, and applications of organizational psychology topics such as workers' motivation, employee attitudes, work team groups, leadership, organizational change and development, and organizational climate and culture, and apply these skills in various settings. And I think that I learned the most out of these topics about organizational culture, which I think really is the basis of a lot of what we've learned. And I wish we would have touched on this more toward the beginning of the program. I think that it would have made a lot of the other information that we learned be a little bit more cohesive with each other, and things would help put those puzzle pieces together. Out of these, I've also learned I'm most interested in employee attitudes. I think that drives a lot of the success and the growth and development of the employees that are, within these organizations. And that's a very important aspect to understand. And this objective is actually what I base my practicum project, which is, of course, on employee engagement. And I think that's one of the underlying issues of a lot of organizations is that they're so focused on productivity, but they don't realize that employee engagement and motivation are what drive that growth and drive that productivity. So I definitely learned a lot, and I'm able to apply this again into my real life work setting. The 5th objective is students will develop skills that are necessary for functioning as a professional in diverse situations. Again, I definitely made progress on this as well. I already have been working full-time for, a few years before starting this program. So being professional within a workplace setting is not something that I hadn't been subject to up until this point. So I already had working knowledge of this, but with Dr. Palmer's class, with the professional development, especially with writing etiquette, I think that's very important. It's something that really helped being more concise with my thoughts within my writing, and even in communication with clients and other professional colleagues that you might be interacting with. That is something that has been something I've been continuing to work on. As you might be able to tell, I somewhat like to ramble. I can talk a lot, and I'm still actively working on trying to be more concise with my thoughts in my writing. And also with this, of course, we know that we're going to be working for the rest of our lives within diverse groups and within, not only work, but just in life in general. And I think experience working with the cohorts within this program has definitely aided in that development as well. And I think what also helped a lot with this is a lot of our assignments were video presentations. So it kind of forced us to get out of our comfort zone and our normal element that you might have within an in-person class, to be able to discuss your work and your presentation in a more formal and professional manner. So that definitely helped a lot as well. The last objective is students will develop an understanding of the ethical, legal, and diversity issues related to the practice of applied psychology. I think this is extremely important topic, especially where a lot of people within this program are probably going to go into some sort of human resource role, and the legality side of human resources is crucial to be able to be successful. And I feel like we focused a lot about the ethical and legal portion of this program toward the beginning of the program. I do feel like I've made some progress, but I definitely have a lot of room to develop my knowledge and skills with this, and I think that comes more with hands-on and real-life experience. I would have liked to have gained a little bit more knowledge on the legal aspect. I don't know if we really touched on that as much as we touched on the ethical issues, which is just as important. We definitely want to make sure that we're being ethical within a consultant role or an HR role, but I would have felt more comfortable going over more of the legality side of it as well. So just some additional learning objectives and additional thoughts. I definitely feel like I'm able to apply all of these learning points into my real real life work setting. Again, I work in outsourced human resources, so everything that we have gone through over the past 2 years has directly correlated to my day-to-day work duties and responsibilities. And I believe that I've made the most progress in organizational change and development. For some reason, that portion of this program just really stuck out to me. It also taught me that I'm more interested in becoming an internal consultant. I think that being able to be a part of a team and being integrated within that team is something that I would be very interested in. And overall, I think the main thing that I need to continue to work on is just develop my skills within research design. But overall, I think that this program was very beneficial. It aligned with my career aspirations, and I am very excited to, have been given this opportunity to be a part of the first online program, and I appreciate everything that all of the program faculty has done throughout the courses. Thank you so much.